to win their first major trophy, as at the start of this game both sets of players take the knee. The message against racism still clear. So it will be England to get us underway. A reminder, this is how the group stands after Sweden's last gasp win over the Republic of Ireland earlier. France atop. A victory will see them qualify for the Euros if they win here tonight. Sweden are second, 2 points behind France, and England are third, looking to move level once more with Sweden. They've got 4 points, 3 points behind Sweden after that late win over Ireland earlier. So England playing from right to left in the white shirts, the dark shorts and the white socks. France in the royal blue shirts and shorts with the red socks. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment. But as Millie Bright brings the ball forwards to the halfway line, just a word on the selection, Rachel. Were you surprised that there is only the one enforced change for England with Hannah Hampton in for the injured Mary Earps?
No, because there's, 3 days between the two games. There's very little time when you consider travel and recovery to actually change personnel and what that implicates across the whole starting 11. So, as I mentioned a couple of times in build-up, it's more about polishing the final product.
Well, that is what England will hope to do, as De Almeida won't keep that ball in, and cheers from the Lionesses fans who've made the trip over from England here to Saint-Etienne. And Jess Carter takes the throw and steers it back to Leah Williamson. So England with Hannah Hampton in goal, in for the injured Mary Earps. The back four of Lucy Bronze, Millie Bright, Leah Williamson the captain, and Jess Carter. Ahead of them it's Georgia Stanway and Ciara Walsh, with Beth Mead, Ella Toone winning her 50th cap, and Lauren Hemp supporting Alessia Russo up top, as France make the interception with Amandine Henry, but she's lost it to Toone, and Toone in turn will lose it to Henry. And here goes Grascaglioro playing with that heavy strapping on her left hand after breaking her finger in training. Plays it out to the left hand side, and here is Karshawi picking up that wide role. She played well in attacking midfield in Newcastle on Friday. The ball is out to the left hand side, and Selma Basha steers it all the way back to Amandine Henry. So France with Pauline Perrault-Magnon, the former Arsenal goalkeeper, in goal. The back four of Elisa De Almeida, who scored a brilliant volleyed equaliser in Newcastle on Friday. Maëlle Lecras, Wendy Renard the captain, and Selma Basha at left back, as France wants a free kick and won't get one midway through the England half. Ahead of them it's Amandine Henry, Grascaglioro and Kienza Dali of Aston Villa, with Kadidiatou Diani winning her 100th cap, Sakina Karshawi and Marie-Antoinette Katoto, who scored the winner in Newcastle on Friday, up front. Here come England down the right hand side, and now Beth Mead, who also netted on Friday against the French team, plays it forward looking for the run of Lauren Hemp. Almeida's there though, steers it back to Perrault-Magnon. Hemp closes her down well on the edge of her penalty, on the edge of her 6-yard box, but Perrault-Magnon does make the clearance, goes all the way through to Millie Bright, who plays it off Katoto, and the ball goes out of play for an England throw on the far side. 3 minutes gone, goalless here in Saint-Etienne on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Good start from France, really. The spine of the team is key.
And Katoto loses out to Millie Bright, and Georgia Stanway will pick it up. Yes, France know if they win, they're qualified with 2 games to spare. Of course, they still want to win the group. That would give them the best possible seeding for the Euros as well. So their next match against Sweden would still be important. Can England get this qualifying campaign back on track and get a result against the current group leaders, as France bring it forward once again? Amandine Henry just about keeps hold of that ball, and Lecras will send it out to the right hand side, and De Almeida, nice zipped passes at the moment from France, playing with confidence as well. They might out to the left hand side they go, and Basha's on the move. She's taking on Beth Mead, and Lucy Bronze back there as well. Basha pulls it back to Karshawi. Dali's made the run in the centre, but Karshawi 25 yards out will play it left to Basha once more. Basha steers it to Karshawi, and eventually all the way back to Wendy Renard. Huge Lyon contingent in this France side tonight. Again, as we say, Lyon just an hour's drive away from here. I'm sure many of the France supporters inside the stadium tonight are also Lyon fans, as Diani, one of those Lyon players, can't keep it in, and it goes all the way out for an England goal kick. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
England have held their nerve well to start with. It's about not making basic errors, just taking care of those basic things, because France are going to come absolutely firing out the blocks. They've got electric pace, and they're keeping a high press from Hannah Hampton's goal kick.
So Hannah Hampton, all in bright yellow, prepares to take this goal kick, launches it up towards the halfway line. Alessia Russo, it's over her head. De Almeida, though, can only play it straight to Beth Mead, who plays the ball forward immediately, looking for Lauren Hemp. De Almeida, though, good covering run at right back, steers it back to Pedro Magnon, whose clearance finds its way to Kinza Dali of Aston Villa. She's well dispossessed, though, by Kira Walsh, and now Ella Toon will bring it forward in field now to Stanway, plays it through to Toon. Great move inside the area. Toon miscues the shot, didn't get the power behind it, and Pedro Magnon can scramble across and gather at her right hand post.
It was a lovely bit of play, Vic, because I think everybody expected the ball to come out to Lauren Hemp, and he didn't. He stayed down the middle, threaded it through. It's only really rushed execution from Ella Toon, just snatched at it. Really good passage of play.
Diani under pressure, but does well. Turns away from Jess Carter, still midway inside the France half. Little 1-2 with Dali. Diani can't take it in a stride, but a loose clearance will find its way to Gioro, and here goes Katoto, and there's space for France down the left-hand side. It's Koscielny into the penalty area, looking for Diani, just past the post. Minutes 8 yards out on the stretch, did make contact and steers that ball just past the post, and Leah Williamson now for England has gone down. And the referee is gesturing the medical staff on. Well, let's deal with the chance from Diani first. Rachel, first time France really got in behind, and that was inches wide of Hannah Hampton's post, and Hampton wasn't getting that.
It is a let off for Leah Williamson. She did brilliantly to recover, make the recovery lines, and to make it difficult for the striker to get a really kind of incisive touch. But it was Leah Williamson who lost possession in that critical midfield role that allowed France to break with such speed down that left-hand side. And again, you know, that would have been reminiscent of Friday night, a slack little bit of play that led to France capitalise on it.
Well, she has a nasty gash on her knee, Leah Williamson, sliding in, trying to put off Diani, and so the medical staff are just on to patch that up. A reminder, the French Open quarter-finals are over on 5 Sports Extra. That's after England's match against Scotland at the T20 World Cup was abandoned due to the weather. As we're just seeing a replay of that challenge by Williamson on Diani. It's brave defending. How much of the ball does she get? I mean, Diani's already made contact, but Williamson goes sliding in there. We don't have VAR. Rachel Brown-Finnis?
Nah, no, definitely no penalty. I was just looking at the method of injury, really, for Leah Williamson. It shouldn't be something that keeps her off the pitch. Ritan Mehta, long-time doctor there, tending to her on the pitch. If it does require sutures, stitches, that would be the worst-case scenario. I'm sure what they would do is just bandage up. I've been in that exact situation before. It's not on the knee joint, as in, you know, it's not going to bend and stretch and reopen. Might be a little bit of blood, but nothing that she'll be determined to stay on the pitch, and I'm sure she will do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are doing. They're strapping a big white bandage around Leah Williamson's knee, wrapping it around. And the referee, Ivana Martincic of Croatia, is over there. And as Rachel says, we did see some blood. So, of course, the referee making sure that that isn't going to be a problem. But it's one of those where she goes down and it's a knee and you think, oh, gosh. I mean, she's had such a rotten time with that ACL, of course, that meant she missed the World Cup. But thankfully, this looks like a gash and nothing more.
Well, that's it. When we see the replay and we see that it's only a gash on her knee, then it's huge sigh of relief. So it shouldn't pain her too much. It was when she knee slid and it just caught the back, Diani's underside of her boot just caught her knee, and that's what caused the gash. So shouldn't be too much bruising and restriction around that.
Well, Williamson had just come back on, but the referee hadn't gestured her back on. I was thinking, I'm not sure Martincic has seen that. Yeah, she's going to have to come back to the halfway line and do so pretty quickly. So she's jogging around to the halfway line, the England captain, and France have the ball midway inside their own half. It's goalless here, 9 minutes gone. Very early stages, Rachel, but what differences, if any, have you noticed from the approach that England had on Friday?
It feels that the decision making is a little more conscious. The determination to ensure every pass is the right pass, fully switched on, fully concentrated.
As the ball goes out of play, and it will be an England throw as Williamson makes her way back onto the pitch. In fact, it's a free kick. Jess Carter preparing to take it. Let us head for an update from the tennis. Russell Fuller.
Very much advantage Carlos Alcaraz. 2 breaks of serve in the first set to take it 6-3 against Stefanos Tsitsipas, and he's won the first game on serve in the second.
Thanks very much, Russell. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra with Russell and the team, as lovely layoff by Katoto sees Guillaume racing over the halfway line. Here goes Karshawi once more down the left hand side for France. Basher's busting a gut to get up on the overlap. Karshawi drifts central, 30 yards out, plays it out to the right hand side, and Kenza Dali's delivery into the penalty area is blocked by Jess Carter for England. And Dali will pick it up once more and lay it off to De Almeida. And Karshawi now plays it to Wendy Renard. Out to the left-hand side she goes, and Salma Basher, and now Guillaume. And Basher once more. How big a player would you say Guillaume is to have fully fit and able to start for France?
She's dynamite, she's electric, she's a huge asset for them. But I was just looking at the build-up play, Vicki. France are trying to stretch England. Really kind of Karshawi and Diani coming really wide at times, and what that does is force Jess Carter, Lucy Bronze to stretch out. The whole back line is then, there are bigger gaps between them, and they're looking to try and tease them out wide to then find central areas.
Ball goes out of play on the far side for an England throw. Goalless here in Saint-Étienne. 12 minutes played as the throw will be taken by Lucy Bronze, winning that historic quadruple along with Keira Walsh with Barcelona this season. As Alessia Russo picks it up down the right-hand side. Russo, who's enjoyed her best goal-scoring season of her career. I mean, these are context points for the struggles, in inverted commas, that England have had. These are still some of the very best players in the world. The problem is that France also have some of the very best players in the world. As England take another throw quickly on the right-hand side, they've lost possession though, and Karshawi will dink it forward to Katoto. Lovely layoff, looking for Karshawi once more. Good defending by Williamson, who comes up to halfway, launches it forward, gets a little deflection as it goes through. Basher's allowed that to go out of play, and that's good officiating there on that far side by the assistant. It is an England throw, despite the boos all around us here in Saint-Étienne. England have a throw midway through the France half, 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, Leah Williamson cleared the ball on it, got a touch of a player, simple. But this is home advantage. This is why England find it so difficult to come away to France.
Yeah, 51 years since England women have won away to France. They've only played 8 games since winning on their first visit across the Channel back in 1973, but still they are a side that historically England have really struggled to get the better of, as a good interception by Basher on the left-hand side is roared by the home fans, but England make their own interception, and Walsh will bring it forwards, looking for the run of Russo. She's got Renard for company, turns on the right-hand side of the penalty area and forced back now to Lucy Bronze. He plays it in field to Beth Mead. Forward now, a little 1-2 with Russo, who was up there, and France will get the foot in, and Katoto on the left-hand side, still just inside the France half, will play it back to Karshawi, eases away from Mead, and picked up now by Dali, plays it back once more, and it finds its way to Basher. They are moving the ball with supreme confidence, France.
England are not falling into the trap though of chasing it. That's part of England's game plan, is to let France do that, soak it and then counter.
They've won the ball with Lauren Hemp, who races down the left-hand side. She's pursued by Diani, using that pace, but Hemp is too strong for her. Held up, though, by Diani, who slipped, but managed to stop Hemp's advance. And then a move between Walsh and Toome breaks down, and Dali brings it away. She runs right into Williamson, though, who has stepped up from centre-half, just into the France half, plays it off Katoto, and that will be an England throw just inside France territory.
Yeah, excellent reading of the game from Williamson. Recognised Katoto was locked on by Millie Bright, meant that Leah Williamson could step in and help her midfield when they'd lost possession.
Bright's ball out to the left-hand side, too much on it for Lauren Hemp, and bounces out of play for a France throw. So De Almeida will prepare to take this for France. France, who are in very good form at the moment. They've won 9 of their last 11 games. The only defeat in that time was to Spain in the Nations League final back in February. Spain, of course, the world champions, having beaten England in the World Cup final last summer, as Walsh eases that ball away from Katoto, and Millie Bright will send it all the way back to Hannah Hampton, who is yet to be tested yet. We've had that very good chance for Diani, but it went wide of the post rather than forcing Hampton into a save. At the other end, Pedro Magnon has had to deal with a scuffed Ella Toon shot that really was a good opportunity for the Lionesses, but she just couldn't catch it cleanly as Russo plays it to Mead, and Mead will just lose out. But England managed to smuggle the ball back to Millie Bright and out to the left-hand side. Too much on it once again for Hemp. And France will have a throw. Interesting to see the fluidity within this English attacking lineup. Beth Mead started out on the right-hand side, and that is where she is quite a lot of the time, but she's also coming into a central attacking midfield position. Georgia Stanway just there was out on the right wing. So is that an example of Serena Wiegman picking the same team but trying something a little different with the tactics?
Absolutely. I think Beth Mead, she started life as a number 9, as a central player, and we know she scores goals for fun and scores big goals for England as well. And to assist Ella Toon and certainly Leslie Russo higher up in that central area and overloading that midfield causes a problem for France and creates a good problem for England. So imagine that was part of the game plan Friday, but maybe re-emphasised over the weekend.
0-0, 60 minutes played here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in Saint-Étienne as Millie Bright plays the ball out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze will play it back to Bright midway through the England half. I suppose that is another question when it comes to the attacking options. Is a really good point, Rachel. I mean, like you say, Mead for so long did play as a striker. She's been a winger for years now. She comes down the right-hand side. Russo's there and fires over from inside the 6-yard box. It was well defended by Lacroix at the back. Just did enough to run across Russo and make that chance more difficult. Well, we talk about maybe putting Mead through the middle. That's what she offers on the wing.
Well, it's an outstanding bit of play from England. The build-up, one of the first times I've seen Lucy Bronze really bomb on and mean that it's an overload with Lucy Bronze and Beth Mead. It was a simple flick on from Lucy Bronze to Beth Mead, and Beth Mead picked out Alessia Russo absolutely brilliantly. She had a defender breathing down her neck. She will be ruining that chance.
Yeah, having seen it again, Lacroix is there, but Russo meets it low on the volley and gets too much power on it. That is a really good opportunity. The second of this game, one for Toon, one for Russo. And again, questions over clinical finishing that have dogged England for the last year really or so might come into play. As Hemp chases this down the left-hand side, won't get there, and it's a France throw deep in French territory. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
Quickly, to give a bigger picture of Alessia Russo, she was, part of the Tooney and Alessia Russo combo that came on to great success. She'd had a handful of caps before then. It was not a starting number 9, it was Ellen White starting. So she has had big shoes to fill at Alessia Russo, and she still is learning to be the best Alessia Russo. There's still plenty more to come from her.
Yeah, just 25 years of age still, the Arsenal striker, as we say, has had her best domestic goal scoring season of her career. 16 goals for the Gunners, 12 in the WSL. Leah Williamson, her Arsenal teammate, has it on halfway, plays it forward to Kira Walsh. Lovely ball from Walsh out to the right hand side, and a little bit of space for Lucy Bronze. Plays it to Mead, edge of the penalty area, takes a touch and it's a poor one, and allows Renard to come in, clear the ball away, but France have lost it. Walsh then does the same for England, fires it straight into Amandine Henry, and Karshawi will bring it away down the left hand side. A little push there by Bright on Katoto, allowed to go by the referee. She will now blow the whistle for the foul on Karshawi, and France have a free kick, 0-0.
Well, it's lovely play again down that right hand side. I think it was initially for England, looking dangerous when Lucy Bronze is bombing on to outnumber them at the back. France, it's the first time this last few minutes that England have really put the pressure on. Started playing out from the back from Leah Williamson, lovely cute bit of play through to Kira Walsh, and then that switch out wide. Good precision play from England.
As it was at St James's Park on Friday, it is tight, it is tense, it is finely poised, and it's still 0-0. 90 minutes gone here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in this Women's Euro 2025 qualifier as France have it midway through the England half. Henry picks it up, central position, and back out to the left, and Basha will play it forward to Henry once more. Now in field to Guioro. They know about her danger, England. They're closing her down quickly with Walsh. So Guioro falls back to Lacroix. And out to the right-hand side she goes to De Almeida. Good hassling and harrying by Lauren Hemp, and the ball forward from De Almeida under that pressure. Too much on it, and Carter can allow it to roll out of play.
Good out of possession play from Lauren Hemp there. Hustling De Almeida, ensuring that she doesn't get goal side of her. Basically forces her off the pitch and into an error. So important for England that both in and out of possession, you know exactly what your job is as part of the team.
Russo surrounded by 4 blue shirts inside the England half, and manages to help them work the ball out to the right hand side. Here goes Beth Mead into the penalty area, takes the shot early, good save by Pedro Magnon, and cleared away by Elisa De Almeida. Arsenal's former goalkeeper denying her former Arsenal teammate there. Another big chance for England.
Yeah, it was an excellent save from Pedro Magnon, but Beth Mead didn't have any other option. She was quite wide. Basher had caught her up. She had to take the shot then. It was quite a wide angle. Across the goalkeeper is exactly what you needed to do. Maybe she drilled it along the ground. It would have been more of a problem for the goalkeeper. But good, this last few minutes for England.
Yeah, good spell of the game as Russo tries to find him and does so. Stanway, first time, brilliant! What a screamer from Georgia Stanway! That is an absolute stunner! How many times have we seen her do that in her career? And in an England shirt, she scores huge goals, she scores them brilliantly, and she scored one here in Saint-Etienne. England lead France by a goal to nil.
Oh, Vic, you could feel it coming, couldn't you? The wave of attacks that England had put upon France in this last few minutes. Lauren Hemp does brilliantly, just out-muscles Kenza Darley, then lays it beautifully to Georgia Stanway, who absolutely thumps this through the legs of Karshawi. And that was past Pedro Magnon before she even left the ground. Now, I think the crowd think it was Toon who scored, or whether they're booing, I'm not sure.
Here come France looking for the immediate response. It's definitely Stanway as Karshawi picks it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Back to Guillaume, all the way back to Amandine Henry now as France go back to halfway and Renard. Do you know what I love most about that? Well, what I love most was the shot, but the celebration, she just went, yeah, thank you very much, turned around and ran back towards halfway. That shows that England have business in mind. They've come here to get a job done. They've come here to haul themselves right back into contention, not just for automatic qualification, but for winning the group. As De Almeida sends the ball in, cleared away by Williamson, ball's gone out of play. England goal kick.
It's exactly that, Vicky. They know they did not do their job to the best of their ability on Friday. They let themselves down. They let Serena Wiegman down. They let Lionesses fans down, and they have come here to rectify that. You know, that's exemplified by Serena Wiegman having complete faith in that starting 11 to be able to go out and do a better job, a perfect job, a job that replicates who they are as individuals but what they are collectively. And so far, that last sort of 5 minutes, brilliant examples. Lucy Bronze bombing on, Jess Carter playing higher, caused problems for France, and a fantastic world-class execution from Georgia Stanway.
De Almeida's header goes straight to Ella Toon, and England could be in again down this right-hand side. Here is Beth Mead. Russo racing into the penalty area. Mead tries to pick out Stanway instead. It's behind her, and Guillaume will bring it forward. And what England have done is they've scored when they were on top. We were just talking about clinical finishing. I'll tell you what, that was a finish and a half from Stanway as Hemp pulls it back to Kira Walsh. Third of the way inside the France half. England leading by a goal to nil midway through this first half in Saint-Etienne. A reminder, a win tonight sees France qualify for the Euros. A victory for England moves them level on points with Sweden in second, and Sweden and England would be within 2 points of France. It would be all to play for. Only the top two qualify automatically. England, Sweden and France, huge names, all in the world's top 6. One of them's going to go into the playoffs. England's job is to make sure it's not them. They've taken the lead here. They took the lead in Newcastle on Friday. They lost 2-1. Now, can they go on and close this out, get more goals, do their jobs, defend from set pieces? They've won a throw on this near side, just inside the France half. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
See their appetite. They have been in this situation before, and it won't be a case. You do not need to worry that this team will freeze, that they won't know how to see a game out. And of course, there's far too much time on the clock to be playing to see the game out. But this is a team that have gone through adversity, are going through adversity. but they know how to execute a game plan.
As the offside flag goes up against Alessia Russo, and then a bit of a collision between Hemp and Almeida, but Hemp back up to her feet, and France get things moving quickly. Yes, this is arguably England's most difficult period under Sarina Wiegman. They've won the Euros under her, they reached the World Cup final under her, but it was a disappointing Nations League campaign that cost Team GB the chance to qualify for the Olympics. And the qualifiers for the Euros, where England are defending champions, have not started as they would have wanted. They lead 1-0 here, though, on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Diani, though, for France, into the penalty area. Right-hand side, held up well. Plays it back to Dali, blocking by Jess Carter. And the ball will spin away for a France throw deep in England territory. Has it gone out of play? No, it hasn't. Dali plays it forward, and then that's sloppy from France. Diani was offside. They all thought it was going to bounce out for the throw. It didn't. Diani strayed offside. Dali played it forward, and England have a free kick.
The appetite to want to defend, just was watching, tracking with my eyes, Kira Walsh. She tracked a good 50 yards back to ensure that they had nothing easy. And you can see when players are going through the motions defensively, you know, they're not sprinting, they're not sharp. You know, when you do warm up before the match and you do rondos and there's a player in the middle and they go through the motions, just stand there. Or there's players who go in there and they defend like their lives depend on it. That's how England are playing.
Wendy Renard just gets to that ball ahead of Beth Mead and plays it out to Selma Basher, and Basher will go all the way back to Pedro Magnon as Hervé Renard, the France manager, stands on the edge of his dotted technical area. He said in the press conference yesterday they expected a more difficult game than the one in Newcastle on Friday. We need to be very humble about that, he said. And at the moment it's England on top, it's England who lead by a goal to nil as that ball is over the head of Karshawi. Lucy Bronze makes sure she gets there. Case Katoto had any thoughts of drifting from that central position out to the left and sprays it to Leah Williamson, and all of a sudden it's England passing with confidence, England finding the connections.
You're playing against a top team, and that level of concentration, execution has to be 100% for the entirety.
Here goes Amandine Henry winning it on the halfway line for France. Urged forward, the former Lyon player. Shocking ball. And Diani's fuming, absolutely fuming down that right wing. Ball straight out of play for an England goal kick.
What England are doing well is when they need to be sharp and defensively, or when the transitions happen, they do it at pace, they do it with real intensity. And when the ball's dead, like it is now, goal kicks, they just plod. They take time to regroup, because you need that mental kind of unwinding, that time to just settle, so you got then time to refocus. Being really smart.
27 minutes played here in Saint-Etienne. England lead in this women's Euro qualifier by a goal to nil against the group leaders France. So the ball goes straight out of play for a France throw. What has impressed you most so far about this England performance, Rachel Brown-Finnis?
I know England are a world-class team. They just haven't shown it in recent games, and most recently against France a few days ago. And that was of their own doing, in my opinion. France were not scintillating. They were nothing dazzling that England at their best could have dealt with comprehensively. But they weren't at their best, and at international level football you get punished for that. And so that was a real stark reminder that unless you bring 100% of yourself, 100% commitment, focus, energy, intensity, quality to every single thing that you do, every element of the game, you will get punished. And that's what they've brought tonight so far.
Here is Alessia Russo, brilliant strength from England's number 9, and plays it out to the right-hand side, and Beth Mead approaching the penalty area, feeds Georgia Stanway right-hand side of the box. Good block by Selma Basher, and Basher will prevent the corner as well and clear up towards halfway. Good anticipation by Bright, plays it forward. England onto it once more, played into the area by Mead. It's behind Russo. Hemp will pick it up left-hand side of the penalty area. France hanging on a bit here. They're 1-0 down, half an hour gone. Can England find that second goal? They're in the ascendancy at the moment, the Lionesses, as Williamson plays it into the area. Brilliant one by Bronze across to Russo. Brilliant save by Pedro Magnon. Russo on the run, left-hand side of the 6-yard box as the ball goes out of play for a France goal kick. Hemcock keep it in and recycle. Great run by Russo, peeling off the defence, 2 yards out on a very tight angle, and Pedro Magnon covered that near post well and made the save from Russo's header.
Yes, the goalkeeper did exceptionally well to get across. I mean, it was beautiful build-up play. The way that Jess Carter from the edge of the 18-yard box turned back round, played it to Leah Williams, and the deepest of the players, who looked at the run of Lucy Bronze on that right side, playing on the blind side, picked her out fantastically well just inside the 18-yard box, who then side foot squared it to Alessia Russo, and we just could not get the ball in the back of the net. And that's thanks to Perrault-Magnan, who is actually down now receiving treatment, and she clattered into the post possibly.
Yeah, the French medical staff are on, so a few of the France players have come over to have a drink and a conversation. There's another tete-a-tete in the centre of the pitch as well. Henri's there, Guillaureau and Darley too. England's players are coming together as well. Hannah Hampton's come right out of her goal into the centre circle, so chance for both sides to regroup. But this is a really good spell for England. It's 1-0, half an hour gone, it could be more.
Yeah, well, yes, but this spell needs to last for the 90 plus. So far, they've grown into the game. You could see that shift from England. The first, whatever it was, I think 15, 20 minutes before the goal, they were feeling it out. They were not doing anything too committal. They were not bombing players forwards. They were sort of sounding out that first 15, 20 minutes, being almost conservative. And then they went and they had that 5-minute spell where Lucy Bronze started to be playing that really advanced role, and that culminated in England getting that goal, and they've built on that since. They're really pinning France back.
So Perrault-Magnan, the France goalkeeper, is up to her feet, having made that excellent save from Alessia Russo's header, and prepares to take this goal kick for France as the tricolours once again wave around the stands directly in front of us. Fans away to our right as well here at the Stade Geoffroy Guichard. It's the home of Saint-Etienne, who won promotion to Ligue 1, their men's side, on Sunday. So big celebrations in Saint-Etienne. But no celebrations so far for France, because they trail by 1-0 to England's Lionesses as Jess Carter picks it up on the left-hand side. Forward now to Ella Toone. Russo playing off the shoulder of Lacroix and turning Lacroix and doing brilliantly. She's too strong for her. Russo fires the shot in. Lacroix gets the block in. England corner. France cannot deal with England's forwards at the moment.
Brilliant as she just rolls the defender there. Lacroix just uses her body as a opportunity to pivot Alessia Russo. Really brilliant centre forward play, and that's all she could do, was drive at the defence, force getting some form of possession, because it was her up against Lacroix on the left hand side, too wide to get a shot, too far out to get a shot. But a corner it is.
So England looking for the second goal as the corner is swung in deep. It's headed away by Katoto, back there defending the France number 9, and Guillaureau has picked it up on the counter. She's got support arriving on the right hand side from Karshawi, but she can't find hers. Guillaureau tumbled as she played that ball, and England now can counter themselves down the left hand side with Mead. Russo's in the centre, Russo's there, misses it, might come to Hemp on the right hand side. Hemp takes a touch and then miscontrols, can't keep the ball in, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. But again, Russo inches away from meeting that ball 8 yards out. Surely would have been 2-0.
Yeah, it was a brilliant cross from Lauren Hemp, just a little fraction behind or on Alessia Russo. If it had, there was enough space between the goalkeeper and Russo for that ball from Lauren Hemp just to be in that second 6-yard box. But I was so impressed the way the ball was turned back over. It went from our corner, and Walsh and Stanway it was who hustled back to ensure that Katoto got nothing from that potential breakaway.
Lacroix plays the ball straight out of play, and England have a throw deep in France territory. France are rattled at the moment, and with 12 minutes plus added time to play in this first half, in this crucial qualifier, want to win rather than must win, says Serena Wiegman. But a win would be so welcome as Stanway is dispossessed. Falls to Lucy Bronze, out to the right hand side, and Lauren Hemp plays it in. Russo's in there, oh, she's got to score, and she does! Alessia Russo gets England's second goal in Saint-Etienne, and that time poor Perrault-Magnan can't keep the Lionesses at bay. Alessia Russo on the score sheet, and England lead by 2-0.
And those England fans are being so well rewarded. It's a lovely play. Look at this for a ball from Lauren Hemp. She's on the right hand side. She touches it left footed inside, so it's going to be an in-swinger, and she plays it to perfection to Alessia Russo. In-swinger from the edge of the 18-yard box. Alessia Russo timing, heads it down. No chance for Perrault-Magnan. And a similar subdued celebration from this business-like England team.
Yeah, absolutely. Grabs the ball, head down, straight back to the halfway line, and France get us underway again. Well, this has been a very, very good half indeed for the Lionesses. 2-0 they lead, 10 minutes to play until half-time. Can France find a response? Here is Katoto. Back to Amandine Henry inside the centre circle, out to the right-hand side, and De Almeida. Little 1-2 with Diani, forward to Amandine Henry. Little interception by Walsh, and she'll pick it up for England and steers it infield to Toon. And now Carter interchanges passes with Williamson deep in England territory. Now plays it up to halfway, bounces off Rousseau, and Henry will pick it up again. Right hand side, midway through the England half, but forced all the way back to Wendy Renard just inside the France half. Now you talk about how the England fans will be enjoying this. Serena Wiegman absolutely will be as well. She has been rewarded for sticking with the same team. She had to change Hannah Hampton and Mary Earps in goal due to the injury to Earps, but a lot of people wanted to see Alex Greenwood come in. A lot of people wanted to see changes in midfield. There were questions about England's attack and ruthlessness. So far, England are answering these here in Saint-Etienne on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as they have the ball with Leah Williamson, who sends it all the way back to Hannah Hampton, close down by Katoto. Will send it out now, Hampton to Millie Bright, and Lucy Bronze picks it up on the right hand side and is told by Bright to send it back to Hampton, and that's what she does.
We're probably a fraction over a third of the way through this game, minutes wise in totality, and they have to keep this up. They are being absolutely relentless.
And this is absolutely what Georgia Stanway's doing. Head down, racing onto that ball down the left-hand side. Ball in field to Ella Toon. And now Jess Carter plays it back to Leah Williamson. Beth Mead taking up that position in attacking midfield once again. There were some raised eyebrows in the press conference when Mead said, in answer to a question about confidence going into this game, that they wanted to show England that they could beat France comfortably. So far, it looks as though this is a side that wants to remind everybody that they are the reigning European champions. They're the World Cup runners-up from last summer. And actually, we do have the talent, we do have the quality. Stop doubting us, we're going to put in a performance.
There's only one perfect response, and that is a performance as they have done tonight so far.
Leading by 2-0 as Carter gets forward. Oh, Hemp almost taking it past Lacroix, who makes a good interception just inside the penalty area. Walsh picks it up now and steers it back to Leah Williamson. But it is all England at the moment. Can they get a third goal before half-time? Lucy Bronze heads it up under pressure from Basher. Back down to Georgia Stanway, edge of the penalty area. Mead now sends it forward to Bronze, who was having a shirt tug there. Goes down, doesn't appeal Lucy Bronze for England. As Karshawi will send it back to Basher, who clears into Mead. Little ricochet into the penalty area. Renard sends it back to Basher once more. This time she gets the distance up towards halfway, bounces off Katoto. Nothing sticking for France at the moment. England leading by 2-0 here in Saint-Etienne on 5 Live and BBC Sounds with 7.5 minutes to go until half time. If it stays like this, England will move second. England will move level with Sweden on points in this group. As Lauren Hemp comes down the left-hand side, ball into the area, headed away by Basher to the edge of the box. Vital header because Mead was steaming in on that right-hand side as Toto goes down, wins the free kick. Whistle goes very quickly from Ivana Martincic. And France have a free kick and perhaps a chance to regroup. They want a little bit more punishment. They want a yellow card for Millie Bright, who was up there defending, but it's just the set piece for France midway through their own half.
Nah, nothing in that at all. And I'm loving watching the battle between Millie Bright and Katoto. And because there's Katoto up top on her own and there's the two centre halves and Millie Bright and Leah Williamson, Millie Bright's going in hard on it every single time. Every time until this last one within the laws of the game. This time, just a little bit too late, a little bit too much. But as a centre forward, that must be demoralising. You can't make the ball stick because you've got Millie Bright on your back. If the ball's held up a little bit pace-wise, you've got Leah Williamson and Millie Bright nipping in front. They've been exceptional so far tonight, those two at the back.
And Williamson robs Darley. He was so influential at St James's Park on Friday for the French, the Aston Villa midfielder, but she just can't get into the game at the moment. 6 minutes to play until the break. England lead by 2-0. So yes, as it stands, England and Sweden both on 7 points, 2 points behind group leaders France. All to play for when it comes to automatic qualification once again. And indeed winning the group, which is obviously the secondary objective of all of these teams to try and give themselves the best seeding heading into the European Championships. Top 2 go through automatically, bottom 2 go into the playoffs, so a huge name is going to miss out. England doing their best here in Saint-Etienne, leading by 2-0 to put themselves right back into the mix, not just to qualify automatically but to win this group as well. France would still have the advantage, but still this is exactly the response that England have needed, not just to Friday's game but to the qualifiers so far, as Russo comes down the right hand side, ball into the penalty area. Hemp's there just ahead of her. Perrin-Magnon comes, doesn't get there. Hemp forced wide by that delivery, out of the penalty area now, but does collect for England, plays it off de Almeida. It'll be a corner. 5 minutes plus added time to play, and France have no response at the moment, absolutely no response to this England play.
Absolute nul. If you wanted an answer on mentality with England, they've not been ruffled. A little rise from Beth Mead, and I think more frustration than anything in the press conference at their own performances. But the response and the unwavering confidence to go out and be better and execute was on view tonight so far.
So Hemp with this delivery from the left-hand side. It's over the head of Lucy Bronze, bounces off Williamson. Bright's in there. Darley got a foot in. Bright will allow the ball to roll out of play. And it was Bright, say the officials, with the last touch. And England are fuming about that. A lot of players appealing. It's one of these where, of course, players do appeal for pretty much everything. But there was real frustration. And having just seen the replay, you can see why. Kenza Darley of Aston Villa has just booted it out of play. Absolutely should be an England corner. It's a France goal kick.
I think double frustration from Leah Williamson, because the ball actually landed to her directly from the corner, maybe unsighted and couldn't react in time, but probably felt that was half a chance for Leah Williamson. And then for Darley to easy visibly just boot the ball out, just toe it out. The referee did not see it. But again, unwavering, unrelenting pressure from England, and this is how they have to sprint through the finish line.
De Almeida's just done exactly the same thing that Darley's done. They've seen it this time, the officials. It's a throw to England, but you can see her frustration, and you can see it on the face of Hervé Renard as well, who's on the corner of his technical area. France at the moment are just trying to get through to half-time at 2-0 down. I'm sure we'll see changes in the second half from Hervé Renard as Lauren Hemp down the left-hand side, pressured by de Almeida, who clears the ball out of play once again. England win another throw and another few yards of territory inside the France half as Jess Carter puts the ball under her shirt, wipes it off, and will throw into the penalty area. Here is Russo on the turn, pulls it back to Lauren Hemp, left-hand side of the box now. Toon, brilliant layoff. Stanway drives again, and this time it's just wide. Very similar position, just outside the D from where she scored that fantastic opener. This time, slightly off target.
It was identical, wasn't it? She just wraps her foot around the ball just a little too much. Her position was inside the line of the goal, the line of the post, but she just catches it and sprays it wide. But what England are doing really well is pinning Karshawi on the left-hand side and Diani on the right-hand side back. They just cannot get forward. They're more worried about what England's attacking fullbacks are doing, and it's just leaving Katoto completely isolated on her own up top.
She closes down Hannah Hampton, Marie-Antoinette Katoto. But Hampton does well, clears out of play, comes out of her penalty area quickly. And it will be a France throw. 2 balls on the pitch, so Amandine Henry plays one of them off it. And de Almeida will now take this throw for France. Good closing down by Carter. Again, Darley unable to get into the game, losing out. England throw. How good has this performance been in the context of the last 12 months, I suppose, really?
Yeah, for me, it's been the best. And I don't just mean the fact that they're 2-0 up, the fact that they have shown all the characteristics of what got them to a World Cup final, that what ensured that they went out and won the Euros.
Here come France, though. Karshawi edge of the penalty area, trying to work room for the shot laid off by Guilloro. Karshawi forced wide down the left-hand side. 2 white shirts immediately on her as Basha gets involved from left back. Guilloro looking for options. Here's Katoto. Touch takes it away from the penalty area, but she works it out to the right hand side. And de Almeida, this is France's best passage of play for about 15 minutes. And really, all they've done is string 7 passes together. They're working it neatly though down this right hand side. Here is Henry, 25 yards out, skews a shot wide, and there are groans here in Saint-Étienne from the home fans.
Well, yeah, they finally opened up to get that shot, but Ella Toone had run a good 20-30 yards at full tilt to ensure that she didn't have the time and the luxury of a clean shot. And that's as good as France are attacking. England matched them from a defensive point of view.
Hannah Hampton sprays the ball out to the right hand side. It's over the head of Lucy Bronze, but Beth Mead might latch onto it. Good covering by Wendy Renard, who shepherds the ball out of play, the tall France captain, for a France throw. And she has it once more, the ball at her feet to Henry, and that's a loose touch by Amandine Henry, and Alessia Russo bursting into the penalty area. Brilliant covering defending by Henry. The experienced France midfielder got back there, got a foot in, and now clears that ball once again as Lucy Bronze heads it forward as we enter 4 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, and France now breaking down the left hand side. 2-0 England lead as France look to get a goal back before half time. Here is Selma Basha, lays it off to Karshari on the left, swings it in high. Williamson's there, wins the header ahead of Katoto, picked up by France once more on the left hand side of the penalty area, but England will make the interception, and now Russo picks it up. Lauren Hemp now midway through the England half sends it back to Jess Carter, who tries to get away from Diani. She was caught there by Diani, but did manage to steer it back to Williamson, who clears over the halfway line, and Wendy Renard will latch onto that, and the ball goes all the way back to Peyro Magnon inside the France penalty area. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
Yeah, excellent decision from Lee Williamson, just release the pressure. It's not a time to turn back to the goalkeeper.
Dali again miscue in central midfield, raises a hand of apology as the ball is all the way back with Hannah Hampton. She'll be so frustrated, Kenza Dali. She's played the last 5 years domestically in England for the likes of Everton and West Ham, and currently with Aston Villa, and as we say, she was absolutely outstanding in Newcastle on Friday. She's been poor this evening. England have been brilliant. Free kick goes the way of France though. Georgia Stanway has gone into a strong tackle, as she is wont to do. I'm not sure she's too impressed with the whistle going.
No,
though.
I think it was Ella Toone was pulling the shirt of Salma Basha. I think that was what the original free kick was for, and I was surprised not to see Ella Toone be booked, because that was pretty cynical.
So free kick to France, 10 yards or so into the England half. Can they find a way back into this game on the stroke of half-time? England lead by 2-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Free kick is long, it's towards Renard, and then it's headed side netting by Marie-Antoinette Katoto. Well, the height of Wendy Renard up from the back is always so dangerous. She met the first header on the corner of the 6-yard box. Katoto running in at the far post. That was a big chance for a woman who is in such good goal-scoring form for France. And it goes just the wrong side of the post. Might have taken a nick off the post from Katoto, but it's stayed out of the England goal. But just a warning that despite England's dominance, despite them leading by 2-0 as the home fans boo Hannah Hampton for taking her time over this goal kick, France are not done.
Listen, you can have a terrible game and score off a set piece, and currently France are having nothing kind of going their way. They're not being able to get into the game the way they want to get into the game. But you pump a ball into the area to Wendy Renard, who's 6'2", you've got a chance. She's been there and done it in the most pressurised of situations. That's what nearly converted. There's only Walsh at the back post to ensure that Katoto didn't have it easy.
Lovely left by Russo. Toone trying to take it in a stride. She has held on to it. Ella Toone, oh, good curling effort, and Peyro Magnon snatches it out of the air, the France goalkeeper, all in bright orange, and prepares to release this ball. We've got 30 seconds to play in this first half. England lead 2-0. I suppose what we've been saying throughout this half, Rachel, it's been a brilliant performance from England, but that is probably the first time we've seen them tested from a set piece, and again those weaknesses are still there. It's something they've struggled with. It's something France are brilliant at, to be fair. They are one of the best sides in the world at set pieces, but in the context of this game, it's going to be a danger.
Yes, absolutely. I think you are more correct in saying it's a strength for France rather than a weakness for England, and you have the capability of Wendy Renard, then it's going to be a focal point, and I'm sure that we've not seen We've not seen a free kick from that area so far this game. That's 100% something that Serena Wiegmann and the staff will have focused on not conceding silly free kicks where they can use that to their advantage.
The half-time whistle goes, a few boos and jeers around the stadium here in Saint-Étienne, but it's been an outstanding half from the Lionesses. A screamer from Stanway, a close-range finish from Russo, and Rachel Brown-Finnis. It's 2-0 they lead by at half-time. It could have been more.
It's been an outstanding turnaround of form, of performance from Friday night when it was pretty abject, very much below par. With the levels that this squad, this team have set themselves, they've come out and they have rectified that. It is only half-time, it is only halfway there, but they've been exceptional at times, England, and what they've done is they've really pinned France back. France look a little shell-shocked. They didn't seem to have any answers as to what to do to be able to deal with England. And when they got the ball, the players were so far back, having had dealt with the England siege of players going forwards, that Katoto was left stranded on her own, and by the end of the game looked absolutely exhausted.
Well, we asked before this match whether England had a bit of a point to prove. If there was any sense that they did, at the moment they are very much proving it, the defending European champions. As Rachel Brown-Finnis says, still a half to play, but it couldn't have gone much better so far for the Lionesses. They lead France, the group leaders, by 2-0 here in Saint-Étienne.
Thanks to Rachel Brown-Finnis and Vicki Sparks. Back with you both shortly. 2-0 then to England in St Etienne. I'm still joined by Farah Williams. Farah, how big was that Georgia Stanway goal this evening?
Yeah, massive. I think the way that England approached the game right from the off, you could see their intent, the intensity they played with. They was aggressive, really tried to put France on the back foot, and it just took that Georgia Stanway finish to really set us on our way, and I think it settled the nerves. Once that goal went in, we've dominated the first half.
Better from England, but is this the level that we just expect from this England side now? This is the level they should be playing at?
Yeah, this is the minimal level they should be playing at. They started the game early on and they were quite sloppy. It was quite open in that opening 10 minutes. And as I said, it wasn't until Georgia Stanway got the goal that England took control of the game. I think Lauren Hemp in the final third in terms of her decision making has been really good and much more effective than the game we saw on Friday night. But for me, the standout player of the half is Alessia Russo, and she got the second goal for England, and really, really well deserved.
More to come. We'll get stuck into everything you can look out for in the second half. But first, here's the 5 Live News with Carl Hartley.
The voice of the UK.
And the home of the Euros and the general election 2024.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Ben. We're minutes away from the first TV debate of the election campaign. Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer are going head-to-head on ITV following a day dominated by immigration on the campaign trail. Our political editor, Chris Mason, says the pressure is on.
Moments like this really matter. The leaders have been preparing for the last couple of days. Why? Because they're talking to an audience of millions, and they know that a phrase or a sentence or a gaffe or a facial expression could be clipped up and go viral and end up in the bloodstream of this campaign, potentially for weeks.
An organisation whose system has been hacked, causing major issues at a number of NHS hospitals in London, has apologised to patients after some operations have been cancelled. GP surgeries and healthcare providers have also been hit. The cyber attack means blood results can't be accessed. Josie Verghese is one of the patients affected.
About 10 to 7 last night, I received an email and a text that both had exactly the same information on, confirming that due to circumstances beyond their control, blood tests had been cancelled for the foreseeable future.
Official results from India's general election show an alliance led by the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, has won enough seats to form the next government. But his Hindu National Party, the BJP, failed to win a majority on its own. 4 D-Day veterans have returned to the Normandy coast where they landed 80 years ago as part of commemorations. As they walked on the beach, codenamed Sword in 1944, local people approached them and thanked them for their part in the invasion, which helped turn the tide of the Second World War. And two new characters being added to the Mr. Men book franchise. Mr. Fib and Little Miss Surprise will join favourites including Mr. Tickle and Little Miss Sunshine in September.
You know those times when you just can't tear yourself away from something great on 5 Live?
And your little favourite football friend is there with you. And to be honest, I'd have him in every day.
Now, I always rave about... No. With most smart speakers, you can now ask BBC Sounds to pause, rewind and restart live radio.
Now, I always rave about Julian Aronet. The guy is absolutely dripping with Riz.
He's got so much Riz.
Yeah.
So you never have to miss another minute.
To get started, just say, Ask BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We're back to St Etienne shortly, but the other home nations also in action in Euro 25 qualifying. 2 full times there. Sweden beat the Republic of Ireland by 1-0. Scotland away at Israel won 5-0. And in the very closing stages, Ukraine have just found a late leveller against Wales, 2-2 there. And Northern Ireland are 2-1 down to Portugal. Let's go back to Roland Garros and get an update on Carlos Alcaraz and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Katie Smith is there for us.
Yeah, and Alcaraz wrapped up the first set fairly quickly. Ben, it kind of read like an Alcaraz highlights reel. He got the early break. We had the signature drop shots, the Syrian cross-court forehand winners. And then this second set, Stefanos Tsitsipas, a former finalist here, he's finally seemed to found his feet in this quarter final. Alcaraz got the early break again, but Tsitsipas broken back. We went back on to serve, and he's now just taken it to 6 games all. So we are in a second set tiebreak, and the crowd suddenly waking up here.
Yeah, really impressive the way he's clawed himself back into that game. Who are the other big winners today, Katie?
Well, we've had Coco Gauff, the US Open champion, had to come from behind but beats Ons Jabeur, the Wimbledon finalist, 4-6, 6-2, 6-3. She'll now have the unenviable task, you'd say, of facing the defending champion Iga Swiatek, who took just over an hour once again against Marketa Vondrousova, the Wimbledon champion, to reach the semi-finals. Only allowed her the 2 games in that match, 6-love, 6-2. In terms of British players, we had the wheelchair singles starting today. Ben, Alfie Hewitt's the top-seeded player. He went through, as did Gordon Reid, so they will play each other tomorrow in the quarterfinals.
And just one other small bit of news: Novak Djokovic no longer going to be competing in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, so he withdrew. We found out earlier this afternoon, had a scan on this right knee issue that he picked up yesterday in his win in the round of 16. 4 hours, 39 minutes he spent on court. He'd been moaning about the slipperiness of the clay, and he's now revealed he's torn his medial meniscus. So he's withdrawn. It comes with these layers of the story, doesn't it, that he played another 5-setter before that, which finished at 3:07 in the morning. It throws Wimbledon into doubt, perhaps. It throws the Olympics into doubt. He's never won the Olympic gold medal. He's made it very clear he wants to do that. It also means Casper Ruud will get a walkover into the semi-finals, and it means Jannik Sinner will now become the world number 1 on Monday when the new rankings come out, the first Italian man ever to sit top of the standings.
Katie, just before we let you go, a couple of famous faces in the crowd tonight.
I thought you might have mentioned this. Right, Ben Stiller is front row, and I like this for 2 reasons. One, because over on Sports Extra we've now been allowed to go through all our favourite Ben Stiller films, which there are many.
What was number 1?
Zoolander obviously comes out on top, doesn't it? The other thing is that he's a massive Rafa Nadal fan, and we have now decided that he's probably sitting here kind of sussing out Carlos Alcaraz, isn't he? He's like, is this the guy who's going to take over? Are you going to be my new man? Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so much, Katie. Live coverage over on 5 Sports Extra now. Earlier today, England's defence of the T20 World Cup suffered a setback as their opening match against Scotland in Barbados was abandoned due to the rain. The match had already been cut down to 10 overs due to bad weather. Scotland scored 90 runs for no loss, but England were unable to start their batting innings before the game was called off. Henry Moran has been speaking to Scotland captain Richie Berrington, but first, let's hear from England coach Matthew Mott.
I thought there's some really good stuff there. I think, there's a couple of big overs in there out of the 10, but, they're the overs that you'd expect to go. The 6th over is one of the hardest overs, and so that was tough. But I thought we'd come back really well, particularly after the break. It's tough for both teams to start again, but from our perspective, I was really pleased with some of the options we had to close down. So I think, I was reasonably happy with the way we were going to go. And those who've watched a lot of T10 cricket, I think that was certainly an achievable chase. And we probably would have had all the things in our favour in terms of, only 10 overs, you got 10 wickets in hand, wet ball. So, it was frustrating not to get back out there, but that's the way it is.
I think everyone's just frustrated that we didn't manage to get a result there. I think both teams were keen to get back out there. I think we gave ourselves a really good chance the way we batted in that first innings, even with the game being shortened. So, as I say, just unfortunate that we couldn't get out there and have a crack with the ball. I mean, it was an incredible atmosphere out there, and I think as that game would have got closer in that second half, that would have just kept building. So, as I say, it's unfortunate that we didn't get that opportunity, but I think we can take some positives from that first innings, the way the guys batted up top there, and look to take that into the next game.
We're back with the team out in St Etienne very shortly, but first, it's the first leaders debate at 9 p.m. this evening ahead of the general election. Gordon Smart here from 10 with all the reaction to that, and Gordon joins us now from the home of golf, St Andrews. St Andrews, Gordon, how are you getting on up there?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not playing golf, Ben, because that's really what you want to do when you're close to the home of golf. I got the chance to play it back to front, actually, recently, which doesn't get to happen very often. It was a real experience. The weather was dreadful, but I'm pleased to tell you the weather's been fantastic today up here. I've had a really good chance to go and visit the East Nuke of Fife. We've been to Pittenweem and Anstruther, all the little towns around here, St Monans as well, to get a sense of what people are really thinking, the stuff that really matters, getting a taste of the issues that people will cast their vote over. So it's been fascinating this afternoon, talking fishing, talking local business, meeting people who you would expect to be quite happy given the weather, but there's a bit of fire in the bellies up here at the moment leading up to the election, Ben.
Ooh, so what is the mood more generally?
I get the sense that people are a little bit frustrated and nobody's really running away with it. It's quite an interesting constituency, Fife, because you would think in a lot of battles in this general election it'll be Labour v Conservative, but up here it's actually Lib Dems v the SNP. And you've got to try and cut out what people think are Scottish issues, devolved matters, to the national issues in a general election. But people are still very, very vocal about the cost of living. That's the thing. I spoke to a guy that works in a really famous chippy up here, right, in Anstruther. And when he first started working, it was about £3 for a bag of tatties, to use his language, a bag of potatoes. It's over 20 quid for a bag of tatties now, right? So when you go for a fish supper, it's £10.50. And that's a luxury, isn't it? If you're really struggling to pay the bills, can you go and treat your family to a chippy? It's an expensive meal. So that kind of stuff's right at the forefront of people's thinking when it comes up to it. It's all about the economy, a lot about cost of living.
Gordon, just quickly, it's just Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak tonight. For both of them, how will they want this to go? You'd imagine for the Conservatives, it's very much a case of needing a bit of a game-changing moment. Maybe for Keir Starmer, just get through this without any drama?
Well, I think that's the thing. You don't want to be the one going to bed with your teeth itching, feeling embarrassed about a massive faux pas. I mean, there was a shocker the other day, wasn't there, when Rishi Sunak asked the people of Wales if they were looking forward to the Euros. So avoiding catastrophes like that, I think, is the big thing. But, people, it's the first time they've gone head-to-head. It'll be interesting to see what the big issues are.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so much, Gordon. Looking forward to that later on.
Thanks, Ben.
Gordon with us from 10 with all the reaction to that first debate. Let's go back to St Etienne. Vicki Sparks and Rachel Brown-Finnis out there for us. Vicki, you mentioned it on commentary. England getting on top and then taking their chance when they had that territory and that possession.
Yeah, and, in truth, they could be further ahead. I mean, very much so. But I think getting that key second goal and just giving themselves a bit of breathing space is really key. And I think there are so many positives to take from that first half. From a France perspective, it's been really poor, the response. And, of course, that is a positive for England, that at the moment France just can't handle them. But I'm not sure we're going to see the same limp performance from France in this second half. And of course they had that chance to Katoto right at the end of the first half. So this is not done and dusted for England. But as the players come back out onto the pitch led by Leah Williamson, it is so notable that both goals, Stanway, Screamer and Russo from close range, both players just grab the ball, off we go back to the halfway line. This feels like a Lionesses side who are playing to prove that they, I don't want to say deserve more respect, but they'll know the criticism. They'll know the criticism that's been levelled at them. They'll know the elements of their performance that haven't been good enough. They'll know that a lot of people thought they were really up against it when it comes to automatic qualification. They're reminding everybody that there is still world-class quality in this side and as a unit as well.
Yeah, Vicki, they also have really high standards that they have consistently over the last sort of few months, and particularly Friday, have played well below those standards. So if you see it as external reminders, so pleasing, the media and fans, or you see it as like an intrinsic reward, that feeling that I've played my very, very best, I've played to my optimal. For me, that's the feedback that the players are after, is ensuring that they go out and they play to a performance level that satisfies them and rewards them, and is reminiscent of world-class performances that we know this team is capable of.
Huge second half again, and a massive opportunity for this Lionesses side. We'll leave you with Rachel Brown-Finnis and Vicki Sparks.
Thank you very much, Ben. And we said France will have to change something in this second half. They've made 2 changes in personnel at the start of it. Sandy Toletti and Delphine Cascarino, who was very, very good against England on Friday as France won 2-1. Aron for Sakina Karshawi and Amandine Henry as we're underway in the second half. France playing from right to left. England leading by 2-0 in this Women's Euro qualifier. It's a scoreline that's taken them second in the group at the moment, ahead of Sweden on goals scored, as Jess Carter wins the interception and the ball goes out for a throw to France. No changes for the Lionesses at half-time. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment, but France starting the second half brightly, although sloppiness there again in their play. Offside flag is up over on that far side, and it will be a free kick to England, who have Hannah Hampton in goal. The back four are Bronze, Bright, Williamson and Carter. Ahead of them Stanway, who's provided another Stanway special screamer from just outside the penalty area to give England the initial lead. She's with Walsh in the centre of the park, and then Mead, Toon and Hemp supporting Russo, who's got England second from close range up front. France in possession with Kenza Dali just midway through her own half, and now plays it back to Lacroix and out to this right hand side, and Elisa de Almeida back in field to Dali once more. Walsh gets the foot in though and sends it forward, and here goes Ella Toon looking for the run of Beth Mead, a little bit too much on the pass, and Basha is there and steers it back to Peiro Magnon, who's made some big saves in the first half that have kept this scoreline at just 2-0 England. So Peiro Magnon, formerly of Arsenal, in the France goal. De Almeida, Lacroix, Renard the captain, and Basha make up the back four. It's now Toletti, Guilloro and Dali, with Cascarino, Delphine Cascarino, twin sister Estelle, is on the bench. Diani and Katoto up front as France have possession just inside their own half, playing in the blue shirts, the blue shorts and the red socks. England in the white shirts, the dark blue shorts and the white socks, as Diani, winning her 100th cap for France this evening, plays it back to Basha. She evades the challenge of Beth Mead and plays it in field to Guilloro. Cascarino wants it over on the far side. It's with Katoto instead, central position, lays it off to Kenza Dali, who's already getting forward more in the second half than she did in the entirety of the first period. Back to Basha she goes, who races down the left hand side, taking on Lucy Bronze. Good delivery from Basha. Katoto's in there, header over the bar, edge of the 6-yard box. Another warning shot from France. They had one from Katoto at the end of the first half. They've had one from Katoto at the start of the second. Yeah, and that combination of Sama Basha, Katoto can be so dangerous. England will have expected a response. France looked almost clueless, with no disrespect. They just had no response to what England did to them. They've had a reset at half-time. England will have expected energy, enthusiasm, potential change in game plan or formation, certainly personnel. They would have anticipated that, but you don't know exactly what that's going to look like. So England are in that cautious period. They're figuring it out. What does it mean? Who does it change? Who am I marking? It's got to soak up the pressure that France inevitably are going to bring. As Russo turns away from the challenge of Toletti and brings it down the right-hand side, just inside the France half. Here is Beth Mead, plays it in field to Georgia Stanway. Poor pass, really, but Lucy Bronze as well to keep it in and turns it into a good delivery from Ella Toon. But she can't loop it across to the left and Hemp, and Cascarino picks it up and lays it off to Lacroix, who steers it to Wendy Renard, taking the armband for a record 85th time for France tonight, but it's not the way she would have wanted to celebrate that milestone, trailing as they are to England by 2-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sound. A reminder, the French Open quarter-final coverage is over on 5 Sports Extra. And at the T20 World Cup, England against Scotland was abandoned due to the weather, so not the ideal start for England, as England's very much have had the ideal first half here in the women's football in Saint-Etienne, as the tricolours once again wave around this stadium dotted amongst the green seats, the home of Saint-Etienne. Newly of Ligue 1 as of Sunday, after winning that playoff match, as Millie Bright clears away over the halfway line. Wendy Renard will chase, but Pauline Perrault-Magnon has come to the edge of her penalty area and bowls the ball out underarm to Leclerc. And now Teletti steers it forward to Guilloro. 4.5 minutes gone at the start of the second half, and France enjoying good possession, and Diani trying to burst into the penalty area. Good goalkeeping by Hannah Hampton, comes right out of her 6-yard box and claims ahead of Diani. But you just get the sense, Rachel Brown-Finnis, that she is going to have a busier second half. Hannah Hampton?
Yes, could be a bit of a role reversal. Depends how, as I said, England are managing these opening 5-10 minutes just as they did in the first half. You know, they soaked up a lot of French pressure and then they switched, and anticipate something similar.
Bronze under pressure from Diani though, and Diani gets the foot in right on the edge of the penalty area, doesn't steer it through to Katoto. Lucy Bronze tumbled on the edge of the box, but France just look more at it, don't they?
Yeah, and you expect nothing less than 100% full-on energy, effort, desire to get your team back in it, because they got pinned back in that first half and just look stunned really by two exceptional goals.
Hannah Hampton taking a touch under pressure from Paris Saint-Germain's captain Grace Guilloro. Oh, beautiful back heel from Lauren Hem to keep that ball in. Russo wasn't close enough to make the most of it, but that was an absolutely gorgeous, delicate touch from Hemp as France pick it up on the halfway line.
Hannah Hampton's just got to be careful that, knowing that France are energised, added speed and dynamism at top, desire, doesn't linger on the ball and get a team into trouble.
Good noise inside the Stade Geoffroy Guichard as France look to get a goal back against England, and the free kick is given to the Lionesses, third of the way inside their own half. Let's head for an update from the tennis at the French Open.
And it is the Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz who leads now by 2-0 against Stefanos Tsitsipas, a former finalist here at Roland Garros. It went to a tie-break in the second set, and that is where Alcaraz began to pull clear. 7-3, he took that tie-break. We're on serve in the third set. Tsitsipas leading by a game to love.
Katie Smith, thank you very much. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. England still lead by 2-0 in this Women's Euro 2025 qualifier as an appeal for handball against Leclerc by Russo not given by our referee Ivana Martincic, and Diani will bring it forward. She's still just inside her own half. She's been dispossessed by Stanway. Toon plays it forward to Russo. Now Stanway, good link-up play by England. Stanway is then challenged by Diani. Good defensive work from Diani. That is what we saw so much of in Newcastle on Friday, and in the second half, France starting to show that.
Yeah, Diani's doing something. Diani's not what she does not want to do. It's the part of the game she will not want the emphasis. She'll want to be steaming past Lucy Bronze as many times as she can, but that just hasn't been the narrative of this evening so far.
The narrative has been that if England had a point to prove, they're certainly proving it. It's been a really outstanding performance from the Lionesses so far. They lead by 2-0, but France have started the second half well. Here is Cascarino, one of 2 changes they've made at half-time. Lays it off to Basha. She's 25 yards out. She'll go for goal. Oh, wasn't too far away that. Hannah Hampton knew where she was, got her angles right, and it flashes behind for an England goal kick, but it wasn't a bad try there from Basha.
Not bad at all, and I think that was part of France's problems. They didn't pull the trigger. Hannah Hampton didn't have a save to make in the first half, so why not try a bit of the unexpected, the more unpredictable, test her from range. It's a good little reminder just before half-time that France can be dangerous, even if they concede possession, which they did in the first half. That Renard-Katoto combination nearly put them back in it.
Here come England down the left, though. Hemp was being pulled back there, surely by De Almeida. Whistle doesn't go. Well, I think from our viewing position, high in the stands here at Stade Geoffroy Guichard, looked like a clear pullback on Lauren Hemp, but England have the ball once again inside the centre circle, and Millie Bright will send it out to the left-hand side, and the captain Leah Williamson forward now to Kira Walsh, back to Williamson. England leading by 2-0, moving second in the group on goals scored ahead of Sweden. And behind France, the leaders by just 2 points. The complexion of the group, only the top 2 go through automatically to the Euros next summer, bottom 2 into the playoffs. Looks very, very different right now than it did at full time on Friday night in Newcastle. As Beth Mead is dispossessed and Basha will drive forward. She's having a good second half, the France left back, and she feeds Guilloro, and now Guilloro feeds Katoto into the penalty area, checks back beautifully once again. She's done Williamson and then can't get the ball across on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Jess Carter should be able to clear away for England, but that was brilliant centre forward play by Katoto.
It was, she was so strong, but Leah Williamson just had the last laugh, really, as Katoto did a magic and drifted past. Leah Williamson stood strong, almost kind of stood like a wall, and it knocked Katoto off balance, which meant that she didn't have a clean shot.
Here comes Lauren Hemp at the other end for England, up against De Almeida. Almost came to Stanway, 25 yards out. Good anticipation by Dali of Aston Villa. And Guilloro now will send it to De Almeida out to the right-hand side. And Cascarino, France midway through their own half. England leading by 2-0. But France certainly picking up their performance in the second half. They were absolutely flummoxed by England's outstanding play in the first, but this is better from the group leaders. This is more like what we expected from them, as De Almeida, turning away from Lauren Hemp, has it on halfway.
And Jess Carter did brilliantly well then to track back. Cascarino, fresh legs half-time, but came on, burst past Jess Carter. Leah Williamson did really well to cover on that left side. Jess Carter filtered in smoothly, essentially.
Basha early ball in, looking for Katoto, cleared away by Leah Williamson. Lucy Bronze will pick it up just outside the penalty area on the right hand side. Back to Millie Bright, who clears up towards halfway. Basha is there again, dispossessed by Beth Mead. Basha gets the foot in, and the free kick is given the way of England. Whistle going quickly there. England with the set piece then on the right hand side, a third of the way inside their own half. They still lead 2-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Tasty battle, that one, isn't it? Beth Mead and Basha right up against this near side where our position is here in the commentary box.
And a few boos around the stadium as once again England take their time for the set piece, but they're just resetting, aren't they? You know, this isn't a time wasting ploy. They're not sitting on this 2-0. They're defending at the moment because they have to, because France have started well, but certainly they'll be looking to get another goal. England, this is not with 35 minutes to play. Let's just hang on for the 2-0. Heavy challenge in the centre of the park by Stanway onto Letty. France have the free kick just outside the centre circle.
Well, we've been driving in Saint-Etienne today, and patience levels are not particularly high in driving and in spectating football, clearly. I remember in 2006 when we came as an England team to try and qualify for the World Cup. We needed a draw. We did get a draw. Farrah Williams scored a peach of a header, but I got booked for time wasting. In exactly the same scenario.
So free kick to France. Dali will send it into the penalty area. It's flicked on by Wendy Renard, but harmlessly so, towards Hannah Hampton, who controls and just allows herself to be closed down by Katoto. And will now send this ball forward for England. Yes, it's been glorious sunshine here in Saint-Etienne, just south-central France, I think is the most accurate description. An hour away from Lyon, where so many of these France players ply their trade, runners-up in the Champions League this season. French champions once again, as Lauren Hemp wins that ball over on the left-hand side, but now the skies have darkened. It's after 10 o'clock here, local time, and Leah Williamson has just made a brilliant interception coming out from the back. She's lost it to Cascarino. De Almeida will take it on the right-hand side. Guilloro says that she played it off. Hemp, the assistant on that far side, disagrees. It's an England throw.
Yeah, Leah Williamson has done that job so well this evening, reading the game, recognising when she can step to put pressure on a player and not allow them to turn, or when she needs to hold and allow kind of her teammates to get back, collectively defend. She has read everything wonderfully. She's been executing passes, really setting a good example.
Here is Russo, good hold-up play. Sends it back to Millie Bright, who goes all the way back to Hannah Hampton in turn. Interesting, if we talk about the isolation of Katoto, right at the start of the second half, they were really pressing high around the penalty area, France, and they're getting the likes of Guioro and Dali up more in those inverted wing positions, almost up from central midfield, and then they've got the width of Diani and Cascarino, but it just dropped off a little bit there, hadn't it? And again, she is a lone blue shirt as France have a throw midway through their own half. Stanway stolen it from Basher. Could England be in again here? It's Stanway, right hand side of the penalty area. Good block by Guioro. England corner.
Excellent, really, really good work, and that's where Guioro does not want to be, is right next to her own 6-yard box, defending across. But that's, why Diani and this half, Cascarino, of course, they want to play high. They want to try and get that goal for France and put on show what they can do with the ball. But, their primary job currently, and certainly in that first half, was to defend.
Mead drives the corner to the edge of the area, and Stanway has gone for the conversion. Over the bar, into the fans. Well, she scored an absolute stunner. She's gone narrowly wide, and now she's looped it high into the night skies here in Saint-Etienne.
You've got to see the funny side when you blaze one over. That's not even... Is that even within the spectrum of blazing over? It must be a better adjective to describe how high that went over the bar.
Rousseau's won it on the right-hand side there. Renard, the France captain, wins it back from her and chips it to Salma Basher under pressure from two white shirts in Rousseau and Mead, but steers it back to Renard, who clears long. Headed forward by Kira Walsh. Diani gets the foot in, challenged herself, but keeps hold of it well. France just playing with a bit more composure in the second half, and they've worked their way out of trouble expertly there. Here is Wendy Renard as England retreat into that defensive formation. France with the ball on the right-hand side, just inside their own half. So, as it stands, England second in the group ahead of Sweden on goals scored. They have the Republic of Ireland coming up next in July at home. That's at Norwich's Carrow Road. And then the final game is away to Sweden. It is between Sweden, France and England. It will be now, given that the Republic of Ireland only have 2 games left to play for those 2 automatic qualification spots, as De Almeida can't keep that ball in as she races down the right hand side, and England have a goal kick, and Hannah Hampton's gone down here off the ball, potentially looking to receive some treatment. What do we think? Is this tactical? Is there an issue? Often I look the very suggestion, says Rachel Brown-Finnis, the official president of the Goalkeepers Union, but I always look to see how quickly the players come over to the technical area or gather together in terms of tactical, and a couple of them are coming over, and Millie Bright's having a chat with Kira Walsh, but a couple have also gone over to Hannah Hampton in Lucy Bronze and Leah Williamson, so potentially there is some concern here.
Yes, it's certainly not a planned kind of time-out, as it were, which do happen. Not all teams, but some teams do. But at the same time, Leslie Rousseau was having a little stretching and feel in her calf or a knee, so it's proven good timing. You see 4 French players came over to the sideline as well, so most importantly she gets assessed. We've lost Mary Earps. Hannah Hampton's come in and done an absolute stellar job, but experience is severely lacking beyond Hannah Hampton. Kiara Keaton still to make a debut, and then Lucy Thomas, under 23 goalkeeper, been promoted from there because of Mary Earps dropping out of the squad. All great experience for them. And seeing how Kiara Keaton, who would be next in line to come on the pitch, has dealt with being the number 1 at Manchester City this year, I would have no problems should she have to come on.
Yeah, still just 19 years of age, Kiara Keating, but as Rachel Brown-Finnis says, she's been number 1 and established herself very much for Manchester City, who were runners-up in the WSL on goal difference to Chelsea this season. As Hannah Hampton does take that goal kick, she's up to her feet, and we're back underway here, all the way through to Salma Basher, who will collect outside the France penalty area. Yeah, just on Lucy Thomas, she was only called up to standby because Kayla Rendell of Southampton pulled out through injury, and then all of a sudden, as you say, Mary Earps is injured and she's in the full squad, so quite a couple of weeks for her first senior call-up, as France play the ball forward, looking for the run of Cascarino, well anticipated by Jess Carter, who intercepts and sends it back to Millie Bright. Just want to get your thoughts as Bright sends it back to Hampton on Jess Carter. I mean, Alex Greenwood is the key talking point in this defence. She's deputised brilliantly at centre-half with Williamson and then Bright out, but they're both back. They're clearly Serena Wiegmann's first choice centre-halves as Guillaume intercepts on halfway, but it might break for England here. Lauren Hemp trying to get onto it, but Toletti does well and steers it back to Pedro Magnon.
Yeah,
the other option for Greenwood is where Jess Carter is right now at left-back, but how would you assess Carter's performance in that overall debate about Greenwood?
Alex Greenwood played at left-back traditionally, but the game has moved on and she has cemented herself as a world-class, in my opinion, world-class centre-half. As a full-back, now, you defend a little bit, but primarily, on occasions, it's about having speed.
Toletti's given it away and England go for the chip with Toon. We've seen it before, but Pedro Magnon was there, back on her goal line, and manages to claim. Well, when you've done it at Wembley in a European Championship final, why not? But didn't quite have the height there. And to be fair, good goalkeeping as well, as the whistle goes and France win a free kick just inside the England half.
But brilliant anticipation from Toon. You could see that she was waiting, and then as soon as that ball was played and she felt she had a chance of nicking it, she did. They're alive tonight, England.
They lead by 2-0. 64 minutes gone here in Saint-Etienne on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as the ball goes out of play. Basher wins a throw deep in France territory. They're appealing for an offside, and there is an offside, and France are not happy, I think, more with themselves than with the officials, and that's been too sloppy. It's been from those deep throws or deep set pieces in England territory, good position, somebody strays offside, lack of concentration, and England have a free kick.
But they're not offside unless England push up collectively, and that's what England have been so much sharper at tonight, is everybody's just on the ball, on the money, collectively, individually. And Serena Wiegmann will know that at some point, not everyone can do that for 90 minutes. She'll have changes planned.
France win another free kick, bit of a push on Kenza Dali, and she's saying that's 2 fouls. Do you want to maybe think about booking Georgia Stanwyck? To be honest, I think it's probably more than 2. But referee Ivana Martincic is giving that short shift. That was Lucy Bronze, actually. I saw her.
Yeah. You're only counting if you're French, Vic, that's all.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peut-être. As Diani has it down the left-hand side for France, but falls back well. And Guillaume now back to halfway under pressure from Walsh. She's brought down. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
It didn't look like Kira Walsh. She put pressure on her, but looking at her feet, didn't touch her, didn't make any contact at all, but just shows you the relentless nature of the pressure that every player is putting on.
Header from Williamson is met and thumped over the halfway line by Lucy Bronze under pressure from Guillaume. Renard wins the header ahead of Rousseau, and Toletti then handles the ball, and it will be a free kick to England just inside the France half. All got a little bit scrappy in the last couple of minutes or so, midway through this second half, I should say, but the key scoreline, England still leading by 2-0. We expected a response from France. How would you assess it in this second half?
It's been dynamic. It was full of hope in the sort of the first 10-15 minutes, but England have regained control, and they're doing the dirty jobs really, really well, England. They're not allowing easy possession of the ball anywhere on the pitch. And France they're a good team. They have great attacking players, and they're gonna create some chances.
England might create a chance here, but just too much on that from Millie Bright for Beth Mead, who's been quiet in this second half. And Pedro Magnon bowls out underarm to Maëlle Lecras, who plays out to the right hand side, and De Almeida closed down well by Hemp, but Cascarino will pick it up under pressure from Jess Carter. Again, Carter happy to step midway through the France half, the England left back to close down, and Renard will now send it out to this left hand side. Pressing game still very good from England as they hold on to this 2-0 lead as Diani, left-hand side of the penalty area, dinks the ball across, powerfully headed away by Millie Bright. Kenza Dali brings it down. Stanway with the challenge. Dali lays it off. Here is Guillaume, little deflection. Lucy Bronze with the skewed clearance that loops over the bar. Oh, do you know what? You can tell by Lucy Bronze's body check there. She gets to it. Hampton's completely gone the other way for the ball that might go for the corner. Was she calm there, Lucy Bronze, as she stretches with her shin and it loops up over the bar for a France corner?
Ask me how many Lucy Bronze many trophies Lucy Bronze has won? I don't know. It's too many to keep count of. She is big in big situations. It's actually going wide, that.
Corner to France on the right-hand side. Millie Bright heads it up, not quite away yet by England. Almeida helps it on, and now will be thumped clear by Georgia Stanway. But there's nobody in a white shirt there. England very deep to defend that corner. And again, we talk about how they've worked on set pieces, how it has been a weakness, how France are one of the best sides in the world at them. And I think there, they said, right, let's just get everybody back and try and defend it, as Renard still up from the corner as the ball comes back in, sends it forward to Diani, and Hampton will get there and allow it to roll to the byline under a bit of pressure from Diani, and then picks it up, and England will build from the back once again, leading by 2-0. 21 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Well, it looks like, France are making a change. It looks like it's Eve Perisset of Chelsea who is coming on for Lacroix. Now, that, for me, signals a formation change.
England have lost the ball. Here is Lacroix, plays it into Guillaume. Oh, is that a penalty? Yes, penalty. Penalty to France. And could this be a route back into the game for Les Bleus? Guillaume down. Referee Ivana Martincic made that decision very quickly. And France with an opportunity to get themselves back into this one. It's Williamson there. It's clumsy from the England captain. Guillaume goes down immediately. She mistimes it, doesn't she, Williamson? It is a penalty.
Yeah, she does. It's exactly that. She doesn't get the ball. Lee Williamson just kind of misjudges where the ball's going to go to. I think expects Gayore to get control of the ball, hold it up, and then that's where the ball would have been. But the door is open for France just as they were about to make a sub.
Yes, Eve Perisset is preparing to come on, as Rachel said. We had 2 balls on the pitch momentarily there. Kinza Dali has one in her arms. Diani is there as well. Katoto's moved away. The referee is, I think, telling everybody to get away and out of the penalty area, and it's a yellow card been brandished, I think, to Lucy Bronze, and possibly one to Dali as well. Well, they were having a bit of a row together, those two, around the penalty spot. So, opportunity here for France from the set piece, from this penalty. And it is Kadidiatou Diani on her 100th cap up against Hannah Hampton. She places the ball on the spot. This to make it France 1, England 2 with 19 minutes to play, and put the pressure back on the Lionesses. What a moment for Diani. 100 caps this evening in Saint-Etienne. Can she get France back into this game? It's Diani against Hampton, and Diani finds the corner. Brilliant penalty from Kadidiatou Diani. Hampton went the wrong way. And now this is another test of the Lionesses' mettle. They have been brilliant, particularly in the first half. But listen to the noise around Saint-Etienne. The tricolores are waving once more because France have hope.
Well, that 10,000 will sound like 50,000 to the French players. And we said, didn't we, that set pieces may be a way into it. We didn't expect it to be a penalty. The change has been made.
Yeah, Perisset on for Lacroix. So Perisset of Chelsea, the WSL champions, coming on. So whatever the tactical shift will be, and France lining up from this England kickoff, they've got 4 players on the halfway line, and they race forward immediately as Millie Bright sends it out to the left hand side, and that is the first misplaced pass we've seen from England, I think, for about half an hour, because all of a sudden France believe, France have hope. England, though, coming forward now with Rousseau, who scored the goal that at the moment is the difference, leading by 2-1. Brilliant performance in the first half from the Lionesses, but Diani from the spot has given France a way back into this, and Bright's played another poor one straight to Diani, and here comes Guillaume down the left hand side. Katoto there as an option. Guillaume checks, goes to Diani instead. Diani goes for the curler. Good sliding block by Lucy Bronze, and all of a sudden France have pushed so many up the other end that Ella Toon has picked it up on the halfway line. Possible chance for England to counter, but the Bleu have got the blue shirts back.
Yeah, you just have to seize control of the game. That spike of emotion that inevitably happens when you hear the crowd roar, when you've just conceded and a penalty. You just have to reset those emotions There's been no change in formation from France when Eve Perisset has gone to right back. De Almeida's come to right centre half where Lacroix was, so no change in formation, just personnel, fresh legs. Eve Perisset, really fast player down that right side.
Yeah, she'll attack a lot more than De Almeida as England take a free kick looking for Lauren Hemp on the edge of the area. Good header by Perisset of Chelsea, straight to De Almeida as England prepare to make a change. Chloe Kelly is going to be coming on, the heroine of Wembley, that extra time winner against Germany. There's been heroines all over the pitch tonight from the Lionesses, but they've got a test here now as they win a free kick with Kira Walsh midway inside the England half. And this next 5 or 10 minutes is going to be key because France are buoyed by that penalty from Diani that's made it 2-1 to England. As Kelly comes on and Beth Mead, who has been quiet in the second half, comes on.
Yeah, she's done a great defensive job, and as France did in the opening 10 minutes of the first half, they really pinned them back, and I think that sapped the energy out of Beth Mead. Smart substitution, but one that any substitute coming on in the cauldron that is this tonight cannot miss a beat, cannot have any little dip or time to get into it. It's got to be seamless. Chloe Kelly's come on as a substitute many occasions in the highest of pressures.
Free kick taken by Millie Bright, swung up towards Lauren Hemp on the right hand side. Basha gets the better of her and will clear away to Diani, whose penalty has given France hope here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in this Women's Euro qualifier. France 1, England 2, 15 minutes plus added time to play. Ball goes out of play for a France throw deep in their own territory. We've said, Rachel, that this is probably the best performance against elite opposition under Serena Wiegmann for quite some time from these Lionesses. Is this one of their biggest tests now that they're facing in these final 15 minutes or so to close out what would be a huge result and put them right back into the mix, not just to qualify automatically for the Euros, but potentially to win the group?
Absolutely. A few days ago they lost 2-1, pretty abject performance. They've not beaten France in 51 years. This would be a monumental result to come and win here in Saint-Etienne against France after the doldrums it must have felt like of the performance in the aftermath of playing at St James's Park in Newcastle. So the character, the resilience, the quality, the determination to show themselves what good players they are has absolutely been astounding. Just going back to the change that Serena Wiegmann just made, Chloe Kelly, who came on for Beth Mead, has gone out on the left-hand side. Probably a better match of pace for Eve Perisset. Something different for Salma Basha to deal with Lauren Hemp down that side.
And Basha currently off the pitch at the moment, having received some treatment. So England have a throw, France temporarily down to 10. England with this attacking throw, cleared out by Diani, and Basha will now be allowed to come back on by referee Ivana Martinčić. She just made her wait half a second there. I was thinking, Hervé Renard, the French manager, is going to want to see her on as England have another attacking throw. Lucy Bronze takes it, chested down by Lauren Hemp. Back to Lucy Bronze. England leading by 2-1 here in Saint-Etienne. Stanway picks it up, goes for the drive on the edge of the penalty area, and it's a few yards wide of Pauline Pero-Magnon's post as a Mexican wave tries to make its way around the stadium, away dotted amongst those white seats and those fans to our right, and the tricolours go up. I'm not sure they know which way it's going. Half of it's going right, half of it's going left, and it's dissipating. But their players on the pitch very much focused as Wendy Renard clears it up towards halfway. England almost made the interception but haven't been able to do so, and Guilloro, who's coming into the game more, having won that penalty, feeds the player who scored the penalty, Diani. She's still going edge of the area now as Cascarino picks it up. Very good defending by Jess Carter, who sends it up to Russo on the edge of the centre circle, but she's forced midway through her own half. She's kept the ball though, and that's the key thing for Russo and England at the moment. 12 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. France 1, England 2. France came into this match knowing that a win would see them qualify for the Euros. If England can take all 3 points, they'll be second in the group, ahead of Sweden on goals scored, with Sweden away still to come, and just 2 points behind group leaders France, who had 3 out of 3 wins coming into this game, as Jess Carter clears away and Eve Perisset will take this throw for France, third of the way inside the England half. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
Just watching at the levels of concentration on the faces of the England players. That is the key to seeing out this last 15 or so minutes. You're going to be physically tired, but you can't allow your brain to become mentally tired. Tired decisions lead to mistakes.
That's a tired pass there from Wendy Renard. Basher has clearly pulled back Lucy Bronze, and she has gone into the book for that. Selma Basher, or Diani's got her head in her hands, but that was clear, and there's been a couple of those that could have already gone into the book this game.
Yeah, and smart from Lucy Bronze. She knew she got the ball goal side of Basher. This stage in the game, a tired player is going to grab on. They are not letting you motor past them.
So Lucy Bronze being told by referee Ivana Martincic just to take that ball a little closer to the halfway line, and she does so, then chips it down the right hand side looking for Hemp, who headed it straight into the area that Stanway had vacated, and Dali down under pressure from Walsh will win the free kick for France. France 1, England 2.
Strange one. Lucy Bronze don't play the ball to Lauren Hemp's head. That's not where she wants it. I think she's probably trying to chip it so she could chest it down and keep possession.
Oh, that's a fabulous ball by Renard, and Cascarino up against Carter, right hand side of the area, cross comes shot narrowly over the bar on the angle. You wonder if that was the right choice from Cascarino. It was certainly half on, but the angle was tight. But what a delivery from the France captain Wendy Renard.
Yeah, the two captains at centre half have been outstanding with the ball at their feet, haven't they, this game? And that whistled a little too uncomfortably close. Just on our TV screens, getting a little glimpse of Virginie Le Sommer, another hugely capped French international player, scored many a goal past me, as well as other teams and countries.
Yeah, France's record goal scorer. She's out injured at the moment, so they don't have her to call upon. Katoto's in brilliant form, the pretender to that throne, you would feel, when Le Sommer does finally retire. But it's Diani who's on the score sheet for France, Stanway and Rousseau for England. And as we tick into the final 10 minutes plus added time here in Saint-Etienne in this crucial Euro 2025 qualifier, still France 1, England 2, as Diani wins a free kick just inside the France half.
England got to hold their nerve. They've got to dig deep. Energy reserved. The crowd's going to get louder. France are going to get more desperate.
And they're capable of scoring late goals, France. We've seen it in the qualifiers. They scored a late winner against Sweden, which gave them such a good start in this group, as Katoto picks it up, sends it out to the right-hand side. Here is Cascarino, right-hand side of the penalty area. Down to the byline she goes, whips the ball across. Poor delivery. And it goes out of play for an England goal kick, and time ticks on. 8.5 minutes plus added time to play. France 1, England 2 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Jess Carter did exceptionally well there, matching her, getting back. I think it even took a little nick off of Jess Carter. I'm quite happy for the referee to miss that one.
So out to the left-hand side goes the delivery, and over the head of Chloe Kelly, and France will have a throw over on the far side. All the way back with Pauline Perrault-Magnon, the France goalkeeper, as the attendance is announced. Just over 10,000 here. It's a stadium that holds over 40,000. It is a disappointing attendance, particularly when you consider that 47,000 that were at St James's Park on Friday, a near sellout. And I think France, collectively as a federation, aware that there is work to do in terms of attendances in the women's game here, but they've certainly played their part, the home fans, as Cascarino picks it up on the right hand side as well to get past Chloe Kelly, and then steers it out to the right hand side. Has it once more now. Cascarino goes for the 1-2 with Guilloro. Cascarino won't quite keep it in. Didn't look like, yes, the whistle has gone, as England made a complete hash of clearing that in the 6-yard box, and it will be a free kick, a goal kick I should say, to England, taken by Hannah Hampton, who has incidentally picked up a yellow card for time wasting in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, she needs to be careful, because the referee won't hesitate to book her again for the same type of incident. And now you know that the crowd have got what they asked for. They will do that every single time that Hannah Hampton puts that ball down.
Here goes Lauren Hemp down the right-hand side. Good footing by Basher. Important territory here for England as they try and keep that ball away from their own penalty area. They lead by 2-1. It's moving them second in the group, ahead of Sweden on goals scored, just 2 points behind France, who will still lead the way. 2 qualifiers to play. England at home to the Republic of Ireland and away to Sweden. As France win the ball inside their own penalty area, and Diani, who's given them that hope from the penalty spot in this second half, plays it forward. Very good ball to Sandy Toletti. France still inside their own half, but the blue shirts are coming forward, and now Kenzadali of Aston Villa down the left hand side picks it up. Perisset's racing to get into the penalty area on the right-hand side. Interception by Bronze, still falls to Katoto, who pulls it back. Guilloro will leave it. Cascarino drives. Brilliant block by Chloe Kelly. Charged down quite superbly. And Kelly will cut it back to Carter. Goes past her, but Perisset isn't quite close enough to intercept, and Carter will play it forward now to Kira Walsh, who plays it up to Russo on the turn, trying to get past De Almeida, and Russo is racing down the left hand side. Doesn't have too many white shirts in support, but it's good, brilliant centre forward hold up play from Alessia Russo as she drives towards that corner flag, and De Almeida eventually gets the foot in. That is great from Russo.
That's brilliant awareness of exactly what her teammates needed, and what she did was hold the ball up, shield De Almeida, who was fast, who matched her pace for pace down that left hand side, but she took the ball a good 30-40 yards and then just allowed her team to move up the pitch to regain possession from a throw-in.
Williamson plays the ball forwards. It's picked up on the left-hand side for England, looking to create this buffer once again late on. They lead by 2-1. Cleared away though by Diani on the edge of the penalty area. Carter gets a foot in, but she can't control, and Katoto picks it up. Cascarino now out to the right-hand side, and Guilloro as the blue shirt stream forward once again. Guilloro taking on Williamson, who gets the foot in. France throw midway through the England half, right-hand side. 4.5 minutes plus added time to play. France 1, England 2 in this Women's Euro 2025 qualifier.
It's certainly all teed up to be a very dramatic, hugely dramatic finale.
And we haven't even had time to reassess how brilliant that block was from Chloe Kelly, because France are coming forward again. Good interception by Williamson on the edge of the area. Toon then plays it between her teammates. Carter clears away. Very calmly done by Carter. And Chloe Kelly will try and release Russo once more. And this time Russo's got a half a yard of space if she can keep the ball in. Yes, she can. Up against De Almeida once again. Now she slows it down. Russo, little turn of pace. Approaching the corner once again. Appealing for the decision. And again, she wins the throw. As you say, Rachel Brown-Finnis, she's doing everything a team needed to. Let's talk about that block from Chloe Kelly.
Yeah, sensational. She got herself just at the right time. I think it was Katoto, that feels like that long ago, he pulled the trigger and rifled it inside the 18-yard box, and Chloe Kelly, as Beth Mead had done, and she came on for.
Well, Chloe Kelly's going to go into the book for a bit of time wasting. She left it for Jess Carter, and this is one of those where you kind of have to evolve and adapt to how games are refereed in Europe and at international level, sometimes by different referees, because, you know, we see that all the time in the Premier League, don't you? You've got a player, they just leave it for, you know, another player to take it late on. It didn't really waste that much time. They're entitled to do it, but Kelly's into the book. Just need to be a little bit careful here, England, particularly thinking about cards going forward and potential suspensions. If you get 2, you miss the next game. Only Jess Carter's been booked so far in this qualifying campaign, but with Sweden as the final game, they don't want to be missing players for what could be crucial when it comes to qualifying automatically and finishing in the top 2. So yes, you want to close out the 3 points, but you've got to think a little bit long term as well in terms of bookings, as Williamson has it just inside the France half.
It's hard to think anything beyond sort of this, because they are, you know, running on empty a little bit, trying to remain completely focused.
Here goes Russo inside the penalty area, left-hand side. De Almeida, brilliant interception. Super challenge as Russo was just preparing to pull the trigger on the angle. Stanway's won it back, though. Out to the left-hand side, and Kelly with the yellow headband and the green boots. Back to Stanway. Stanway then drew the foul. Referee says no. Get right back up, Georgia Stanway. Got to be careful there, Stanway, because she's on a yellow, that the referee didn't see that as a dive. But France are coming forward now, down the right-hand side. Here goes Cascarino, and once again the blue shirts are streaming forward. Little ricochet takes it out of the path of her teammates, and Lucy Bronze clears away, and England will bring the ball forward. 2 minutes plus added time to play. That's an aimless delivery, really. Goes right to the edge of the penalty area, and Peyre Magnon picks it up. But England are closing in on their first win away to France in 51 years. and what would be a huge victory in the context of these European qualifiers. It would put them within 2 points of France, the group leaders, and ahead of Sweden on goals scored. They'd move second in the group. Only the top 2 go through automatically. They're on the verge of a huge result. But France are coming forward now. Ball right-hand side of the penalty area. Katoto's there. Great save, Hampton. Absolutely brilliant stop. Katoto was in there inside the 6-yard box, stretching, managed to get something on it, and that is a brilliant reaction save from Hannah Hampton. It's behind for a France corner. It's so easily, were it not for Hampton, could have been 2-2.
Wow, what wonderful concentration, because it's not the first contact from Katoto. It kind of almost dribbles and just a reset and replant and dive. Phenomenal save from Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, Bronze was sliding in as well. And Hampton managed to divert that ball behind for a France corner as the tricolours wave once more around the stadium. It's high, it's looping it towards Renard, who does win the header, but it's cleared away second time by Rousseau, and this time no mistake from England. They were beaten by the French attack from a second phase from a set piece at St James's Park. It proved to be the decisive goal that time. They're doing exactly what Wiegman said pre-match. Just get the ball as far away as possible. Don't worry about neatness. Don't worry about trying to find a teammate at this stage. Just get it away from the penalty area. That's exactly what Rousseau did as they're preparing to make a change. England. Ella Toone is coming off and Fran Kirby is coming on. And we can see the board down there. The red 5 emblazoned upon it. This is going to be 5 minutes of added time, 5 minutes for England to see out this crucial victory. The defending European champions putting themselves right back in the mix, not just for automatic qualification for the Euros, but giving themselves a chance of winning the group as well. Although France will still be in the driving seat, but they've got a tricky tie at home to Sweden to come, and then finish off with the Republic of Ireland. England with the reverse fixtures. Away to Sweden is their final game. That could still be decisive. But they have answered some of the questions around their recent performances as France have a player down as the ball is cleared away. Kelly will clear it. And it's all the way through with Pedro Magnon. The referee is allowing play to continue. France want to make another change, and eventually our referee Ivana Martincic does stop play. So it's Selma Basha who's down. She's holding her knee. France preparing to make a double change. And it's a collision, really, as we see a replay. Kelly just stands her ground. Basha runs into her, and it's that jarring collision. Rachel Brown-Finnis? She is on a yellow, Chloe Kelly,
yes.
But do we think that's a coming together? Basha clearly is injured from it.
She could definitely go out of the way, but the referee has not given her a yellow card, and that's I'm very glad of that. She allowed the play to go, which means she considered it a foul, gave them the advantage, and since the play has stopped and she's not been awarded a card, I can play a sigh of relief.
So double change for France. Vicki Bescher, who was suspended for the game at St James's Park, is on. And Selma Basha, who's down, is going to be coming off. Sondi Baltimore will also take to the field. Kenza Dali is the other player who has come off for France. So there's a delay here because of this injury for Basha. She's not going to be able to continue, whether they would have made that change anyway, potentially. But 2 attacking players in Béchot and Baltimore play for Lyon and Paris Saint-Germain, the top 2 in the French top flight respectively, as Basha is helped off the pitch. She's not putting any weight at all on that right leg with that knee issue, and she has 2 members of the France medical team, one either side of her, helping her off the pitch. But France, they can't wait for the stretcher, really. They just need to get her off the pitch, and they need to get things moving once again, as Pedro Magnon has it just outside a penalty area.
Yeah, it's probably going to be another 5 minutes, isn't there? It's a good couple of minutes of that stop for. Gosh, it's so reminiscent of 2006 when me and Farah were both playing, and we just had to see out a 1-1 draw to qualify for the World Cup. It was so painfully long, it felt.
Oh, Almeida hasn't cleared that properly, and Kirby's into the penalty area. Kirby, looking for options, takes it right out of the penalty area, because all England need to do is hold on. They're leading by 2-1 here in Saint-Etienne. We played 3 minutes of the 5 added on, but there will be a little bit more, and France have won back possession. It's Katoto under pressure from Millie Bright, manages to steer it into the centre, and Béchot. Now De Almeida picks it up. France midway through their own half. The captain now, Wendy Renard, as the fans inside this stadium in Saint-Étienne, Geoffrey Guichard, roar their side on. Boos and whistles now as France go back to Wendy Renard. They're running out of time, France. England leading by 2-1. Their first win away to France in the women's game in over half a century, and crucially, it's going to give them a huge boost in their bid to qualify automatically for next summer's European Championships. Béchot trying to keep it alive for France down the right-hand side. She does so. Cascarino, though, runs into Jess Carter. Taletti picks it up, goes out of play for an England throw. Jess Carter in the last 20 minutes is showing exactly why Sarina Wiegman picked her.
She doesn't look tired. She's not getting burst past, so she's not showing any sort of signs of her pace lessening. She has been excellent, and absolutely, to your remark there, it's what's required of a fullback in this team.
Long throw up towards halfway, cleared away by France, and they'll pick it up with Taletti. A little bit too much on it looks like, for Katoto, and Williamson will clear away. Safety first into the stands. Good work by the ball boy over there, and France will take the throw quickly, but they've lost possession, and Rousseau has it midway through the England half, plays it forward looking for the run of Hemp. just 4.5 minutes into added time at the end of the second half, looking a little bit tired there, can't get on the end of it, and France have it once more, played up towards the halfway line, and Guilloro steers it back to Taletti. So many blue shirts forward now for France, and a chance for England to counter if they can win the ball, and they have. Here is Kira Walsh. Will they take it to the corner? Will they try and find the goal that surely would seal this game? Ball by Walsh into the area. Renard sends it behind for a corner. Good pressure from Kirby. This is exactly where England wants it. We played the 5 minutes of added time. A shake of the head from the France captain Wendy Renard. There will be a little bit more time to play because of that injury to Basha, but England are almost there. 51 years since they've won away to France women. They're on the brink, and they're on the brink of what is a huge win in the context of European Championship qualifying for next summer's tournament, where they're hoping to retain that trophy. They have the ball in the corner on the far side. They play it short. Kirby picks it up, dinks the ball into the penalty area, straight through to Peyraud-Magnon. Is there time for one final France attack? Peyraud-Magnon launches it long. Millie Bright's in the centre circle, bounces over her head and Katoto's as well. Forward by Lucy Bronze. Rousseau will chase. De Almeida leaves it for Renard. And Peyraud-Magnon comes out to the edge of her penalty area, but Renard lays it off to De Almeida instead. Again, the home fans roaring their side forward. They're running out of time, France. They've got to get it forward quickly. Béchot under pressure from Stanway. Plays it back to De Almeida. They're still inside their own half, France. Now De Almeida goes over the top. Diani controls. Is there to be late heartbreak for England here in Saint-Étienne? No! If England had a point to prove, they have done it this evening. A quite masterful performance sees them beat the group leaders France by 2-1 in Saint-Étienne. They were scintillating in the first half. They were resolute in the second. And this is the performance that we're more used to seeing over the years from the side that are the reigning European champions. They get themselves right back into the race for automatic qualification for the Euros next summer. They've beaten France by 2-1. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
Every single player, member of staff who's been involved in this performance tonight should be so proud of themselves to show the character in such a quick turnaround at the end of a long domestic season, on the back of a World Cup final between the last two domestic seasons, on the back of winning the European Championships, to summon the energy, the resilience, the character, the game understanding, the technical capacity, everything that it took to edge them over the line tonight. They should be really proud of that. This is an amazing lesson, an amazing experience that they've all been through to show how you can quickly turn it around. And Sarina Wiegman is absolutely the heart of that unwavering belief that this team have shown tonight.
And she will feel her side and her selections have been absolutely vindicated tonight. England's first victory away to France since 1973. It's the first time France have lost a European qualifier since 2007. Yes, the format's changed. Yes, it's a lot harder over the last couple of years. But still, this is a side that have been in brilliant form. They had a 100% record in this group. They don't anymore. England moves second ahead of Sweden on goals scored. It is all to play for when it comes to automatic qualification for those Euros next summer. England have shown just why they are the defending champions of this tournament. It finishes in Saint-Etienne. France 1, England 2.
Thanks, Vicky Sparks and Rachel Brown-Finnis. Rachel, just quickly before we let you go, as a former goalkeeper, we've got to ask you about Hannah Hampton's save. What a save at such a crucial moment.
Player of the match after that save.
It's just so crucial, isn't it? The timing of it.
It's so difficult to go 95 minutes or 90 minutes as it was at the State when she made that save and barely have anything to do, certainly from a defensive point of view and making saves point of view. And to come out and produce, to have the poise to be able to consider how to make that save, because the initial shot, she was ready to dive at full speed, but then it took I can't remember, it was a little deflection, but something took the pace off the ball, so she had to ground herself and almost dive again. And it was excellent concentration that allowed her to process that change and then change her output, which is ultimately change her feet to be able to make that save. So, not to get too technical, it was a fabulous save at a really critical moment that got her team over the line.